10 strange things that narcissists always do when there is no contact with you. You've made the courageous, self-preserving decision to initiate no contact with a narcissist. You've drawn a clear boundary, silenced the noise, and begun the vital process of reclaiming your peace and rebuilding your authentic self. It's a profound act of liberation, and as you step away, creating this much-needed space, you might find yourself observing certain behaviors from the narcissist that seem, well, quite frankly, strange, baffling even. You might see them suddenly appear to be thriving, moving on with a new partner at lightning speed, or launching what feels like a relentless campaign to rewrite your shared history. You might hear stories that contradict everything you know to be true, or observe actions that seem utterly illogical to a healthy mind. These perplexing behaviors, these strange things they do when you're no longer in direct contact, can be incredibly disorienting. They can make you doubt your decision, question your sanity, or wonder if you ever truly knew this person at all. But here's a critical truth, one that can bring immense clarity and solidify your resolve. These strange things are not random. They are, from a psychological perspective, entirely predictable manifestations of the narcissist's disordered personality when their primary source of narcissistic supply, you, is cut off. These aren't signs of their recovery or genuine indifference. They are desperate, often covert, attempts to regulate their fragile ego, secure new supply, and maintain their carefully constructed false self. Understanding these seemingly bizarre behaviors is absolutely vital, not only for your peace of mind, but for fortifying your no contact and protecting your hard-won freedom. In this video, we're going to pull back the curtain on 10 strange, yet entirely predictable things that narcissists always do when there is no contact with you. We'll delve into the psychological motivations behind these perplexing actions, making sense of what often feels like utter chaos. This understanding will empower you to recognize their games, validate your experiences, and strengthen your commitment to the life you are now building, a life truly free from their toxic influence. When you implement no contact with a narcissist, you aren't just removing yourself physically. You are, from a profound psychological standpoint, creating an immediate and devastating narcissistic injury. You are cutting off their essential life force, the constant flow of narcissistic supply that they need to regulate their fragile self-esteem and maintain their carefully constructed false self. Without this external validation, attention, and control, their internal world becomes chaotic and unbearable. The strange things they do in your absence are not signs of personal growth or healthy emotional processing. Instead, they are desperate, often pathological, attempts to manage this internal crisis. These behaviors, while confusing to a healthy mind, are entirely consistent with the narcissistic personality and serve specific self-serving functions. Understanding these underlying psychological drivers is paramount for your continued healing and for preventing any future re-engagement. Here are 10 strange things that narcissists always do when there is no contact with you, explained from a psychological perspective. 1. They rapidly secure new, often seemingly perfect supply. Perhaps one of the most common and bewildering strange things a narcissist does when no contact is established is their uncanny ability to rapidly secure new narcissistic supply, often appearing to find a seemingly perfect replacement at lightning speed. To an outsider, or even to you, this might look like they've genuinely moved on, found true happiness, or that you meant nothing. Psychologically, this rapid replacement is not about genuine connection or falling in love. It's an immediate, almost instinctual response to a crisis. Your absence leaves a gaping void in their continuous need for external validation. They cannot tolerate this internal emptiness, so they frantically seek someone new to idealize, exploit, and mirror their grandiose self-image. This new person is often love-bombed intensely, showered with attention and affection, becoming a temporary vessel for the narcissist's projections of perfection. This perfect facade is designed not only to secure the new supply but also to subtly communicate to you, if they believe you're watching, that they are thriving, that your departure had no impact, and that they have effortlessly found someone better. This strange speed is a psychological act of desperation, a band-aid over a gaping wound, and a strategic maneuver to inflict pain and confusion on you, masking their underlying panic. 2. They launch aggressive smear campaigns. Another profoundly strange, yet tragically predictable, behavior of a narcissist, when faced with no contact, is to launch aggressive, often vicious, smear campaigns against you. They will systematically attempt to destroy your reputation, distort your character, and rewrite the history of your relationship, all while maintaining their own carefully constructed facade of innocence and victimhood. From a psychological standpoint, this behavior is driven by an intense fear of exposure and a desperate need to control the narrative. Your no contact means you know their true nature, and you represent a threat to their public image. To mitigate this threat, they preemptively discredit you. They will spread lies, gossip, and half-truths to mutual friends, family, colleagues, or anyone who will listen, painting you as unstable, abusive, or crazy, and themselves as the long-suffering saint who finally escaped. This strange, obsessive need to vilify you, even in your absence, reveals their profound insecurity and their pathological inability to take responsibility. They are not reflecting on their actions. They are actively deflecting blame and consolidating new sources of sympathy, which is a form of supply, by turning others against you. Your silence is their greatest fear, and the smear campaign is their desperate attempt to undermine your credibility should you ever break that silence. 3. They engage in covert monitoring or stalking behaviors, even when you are in strict no contact, cutting off all direct communication. A deeply unsettling and strange behavior a narcissist often engages in is covert monitoring or even subtle stalking. They might not directly contact you, but they will find ways to keep tabs on your life, often through proxies, fake social media accounts, or by subtly questioning mutual acquaintances. Psychologically, this behavior stems from their pervasive need for control and their intense paranoia. They cannot tolerate the idea of you existing independently outside of their sphere of influence. Especially if you are thriving, they need to know what you are doing, who you are with, and if you are indeed happier without them. This monitoring serves several purposes. It feeds their need for information, a form of supply. It helps them assess whether you are a potential threat to their narrative, and it allows them to gather intelligence for potential future hoovering attempts. This strange inability to simply let go, to truly move on, is a hallmark of their pathology. They are psychologically tethered to their sources of supply, even when that supply has gone silent. This hidden surveillance is a constant low-level activity for them, a manifestation of their inability to truly disengage, for they perform grand public displays of happiness and success. A particularly strange and often painful thing to witness when you're in no contact is the narcissist's grand, often exaggerated public displays of happiness and success, particularly on social media. They might post endless photos of their seemingly perfect new life, their new partner, their lavish vacations, or their newfound career triumphs. Psychologically, these displays are not genuine reflections of their internal state. They are a meticulously curated performance, primarily designed for an audience that includes you. Even if you're blocked, they know flying monkeys might report back, and anyone they want to impress. These public acts serve as a form of revenge by narcissists, a desperate attempt to make you feel jealous, regretful, or inadequate for having left them. They want to prove that they are winning, and that your absence has only made their life better. This strange, performative happiness is a desperate attempt to secure new external validation and to manage their fragile public image. It's a smokescreen, a strategic illusion to mask the emptiness and rage that often lurk beneath the surface, especially when they've lost a significant source of supply. They attempt hoovering, often in subtle or indirect ways, despite the no-contact boundary. A strange yet almost guaranteed behavior from a narcissist is their persistent attempt at hoovering, often in subtle, indirect, or even bizarre ways. Hoovering is their attempt to suck you back in, to re-establish contact, and regain access to your supply. Psychologically, hoovering is driven by their desperate need for supply and their inability to accept rejection or loss of control. Your silence is a profound narcissistic injury, and they will test your boundaries to see if they can alleviate that discomfort. These attempts can be incredibly strange. A cryptic message through a mutual friend, a wrong number text, a sudden appearance in a place you frequent, a sentimental old photo posted on social media, or even a fabricated crisis that requires your attention. They are not trying to genuinely reconcile, they are testing the waters, looking for any crack in your resolve, any sign that you are still emotionally engaged. This strange persistence, even after prolonged silence, highlights their pathological inability to accept a definitive no and their relentless pursuit of control and validation, no matter how indirect the method. 6. They create fictional crises or emergencies, often to recruit flying monkeys. When direct hoovering fails, a particularly strange and manipulative tactic a narcissist employs is to create fictional crises or emergencies, often designed to recruit flying monkeys, mutual acquaintances, or family members to reach out to you on their behalf. Psychologically, this behavior serves multiple purposes. Firstly, it garners sympathy and attention for the narcissist, fulfilling their need for supply by playing the victim. Secondly, it creates a plausible reason for others to break your no contact, effectively weaponizing your empathy against you. They might claim a sudden illness, a financial disaster, a pet emergency, or a desperate need for advice, all designed to make you feel guilty or responsible. This strange inability to handle their own problems, or their willingness to fabricate them, stems from their profound entitlement and their belief that others exist solely to serve their needs. They are not genuinely in crisis. They are creating a stage for their victimhood and a pathway to breach your boundaries. Understanding this is crucial, as it allows you to recognize these manufactured dramas as manipulative ploys, rather than genuine calls for help. 7. They gaslight mutual contacts about your character or sanity. Beyond the direct smear campaign, a truly strange and deeply insidious thing narcissists do when there's no contact is to systematically gaslight mutual contacts about your character, your sanity, and the entire reality of the relationship. They twist facts, deny events, and subtly imply that you are unstable or delusional. Psychologically, this is a preemptive strike to control potential narratives and ensure that if you ever speak your truth, you won't be believed. They work to isolate you by making others doubt your credibility. They might casually mention how crazy you were, or how difficult the relationship was because of your issues, framing their narrative with an air of concern or sadness, making it appear they are genuinely worried about you. This strange, almost compulsive need to distort reality, even to people who weren't directly involved, is rooted in their pathological need for control and their profound inability to face any form of accountability. They are rewriting history not just for themselves, but for everyone else, to ensure their false self remains untarnished. This behavior is designed to make you feel utterly alone and to question your own experiences, even from a distance. 8. They exhibit baffling indifference, or amnesia, selective memory. Perhaps one of the most perplexing and genuinely strange behaviors after no contact is the narcissist's sudden and complete indifference or a baffling display of amnesia regarding your shared past. They might act as if you never existed, as if the relationship was trivial, or as if their past abusive behaviors simply never happened. Psychologically, this selective amnesia and manufactured indifference are powerful defense mechanisms. The narcissist cannot tolerate anything that challenges their grandiose self-image or implies their culpability. Memories of abuse, your pain, or any situation where they might have been wrong are meticulously suppressed or rewritten in their minds. By acting indifferent, they deny your significance and reassert their control, making it seem as though they were never truly invested. This strange ability to compartmentalize and selectively forget is a hallmark of their disorder. It protects their fragile ego from uncomfortable truths. It is not genuine processing or moving on. It is a pathological avoidance of reality, leaving you feeling erased, dismissed, and utterly bewildered by their capacity for such profound denial. This apparent amnesia is a deliberate act of emotional cruelty, designed to invalidate your existence and shared history. 9. They suddenly become successful, often exaggerated or short-lived. Another strange phenomenon you might observe when a narcissist is cut off is their sudden, almost frantic drive to become successful in new areas, often exaggerating their achievements or engaging in short-lived, grand endeavors. This could be a new hobby, a sudden career pivot, or an ostentatious display of wealth. Psychologically, this behavior is a desperate attempt to validate their grandiosity and to prove their superiority, especially to you. Even if indirectly, your absence creates a void in their direct supply, which they attempt to fill by seeking external adoration from new sources or by making themselves appear incredibly desirable and accomplished. This success is often superficial, lacking genuine passion or long-term commitment, and is primarily driven by the need for external applause. It's a performative act, designed to make you regret leaving and to solidify their winning narrative. This strange, often unsustainable, pursuit of external validation highlights their profound internal emptiness and their reliance on external achievements to define their worth, rather than any genuine sense of accomplishment or fulfillment. Their sudden success is often more about making a statement than achieving true contentment. 10. They actively seek validation for their victimhood from others. Finally, a very strange yet predictable behavior of a narcissist in no contact is their relentless effort to actively seek validation for their victimhood from others. They will continuously position themselves as the injured party, the long-suffering saint who endured your supposed abuses. Psychologically, this is a core coping mechanism for avoiding accountability and garnering sympathy, which is a potent form of narcissistic supply. They cannot acknowledge their own role in the relationship's demise. Instead, they project all blame onto you. This strange inability to self-reflect or admit wrongdoing drives them to meticulously craft narratives of woe and injustice, seeking pity and reassurance from anyone who will listen. They want others to confirm their innocence and your culpability, further isolating you and solidifying their victim status. This continuous search for external validation of their victimhood reveals their profound lack of internal self-worth and their desperate need for others to affirm their distorted reality. Your silence, while frustrating to them, prevents them from getting this specific form of validation directly from you, forcing them to seek it from others in increasingly overt and dramatic ways. The world of the narcissist, especially when confronted with the boundary of no contact, is indeed filled with behaviors that appear strange or baffling to those with healthy psychological functioning. But as we've explored today, these actions, the rapid acquisition of new supply, the aggressive smear campaigns, the covert monitoring, the public displays of fake happiness, the persistent hoovering, the fabricated crises, the gaslighting of others, the baffling indifference, the sudden successes, and the relentless pursuit of victim validation are not random. They are entirely predictable, deeply pathological, and strategically designed maneuvers born from a profound fear of abandonment, a desperate need for control, and an insatiable hunger for narcissistic supply. Understanding these strange things is not about giving them power or dwelling on their chaos. It is about empowering you. It clarifies that their actions are about their disorder, not your worth. It validates your experience, demystifies their manipulations, and strengthens your resolve to maintain your precious no contact. Your unwavering commitment to your boundaries is the most powerful deterrent against their bizarre tactics. By seeing these behaviors for what they truly are, you gain the clarity and strength to fully detach, heal, and continue building a life defined by authenticity, peace, and genuine connection. Your freedom is their greatest fear, and your understanding is your ultimate shield. Thank you for joining us on this vital journey of insight and empowerment. If this video has resonated with you, or if you believe it could bring crucial understanding and a path forward to someone you know, please share it widely. Let's continue to illuminate the path toward healing and authentic connection for everyone. See you in the next video.